Hey garden friends, good morning. Welcome to my compost pile. We're back in it, digging again. And I have a quick video for you to give you a little lesson on basically how to finish your compost. A lot of folks kind of get held up. They got the pile, they've added their carbon, they've added their nitrogen, right? Their green leafy material, their dry brown material. They've got a little bit of soil in there to get going. They've stirred it up, they've added some water, they've given it some time. And now they want to harvest it. What's the whole point of the compost pile? It's to get compost, because compost is fantastic for your garden. If you're wanting to have a great garden or be successful, or you had a bad experience in the past with issues, oftentimes it leads back to soil quality. Not always, but many times, soil quality and then how we take care of our plants. But it all starts, it's like having a good foundation for your education. It all starts with that foundation. And for our plants, our foundation is high quality soil that's teeming with life. Compost is a great way to add up your soil's vitality, its fertility, and because it has organic matter, there's bacteria and fungi in there. There's a proper nutrition for your plants. Hello, Bear. Bear wants to play fetch while we're Bear. Come on now. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to get at that finished compost, even though your pile may not look finished on top. So let me show you something really quick. So a lot of your compost is going to look kind of similar to this. When you first start, your compost is going to look like this right here, and I hope you can see that well enough. So this is like your leaves, your dried leaves, your wet leaves, all that brown material, right? Your carbon, your nitrogen, your food scraps, a little bit of soil in there. This is what it all looks like. That's what it kind of seems like on top. We chop this up, we bury it, and we want to turn this into compost. So as this starts to break down, it's going to look kind of like this right here. So you can see this image right here. Hopefully you can get a good peek at that. This is a semi-broken down compost. Like there's even an acorn in here. It's so soft I can just, Bear. It's so soft I can just smash my fingers through it. You can see there's some leaves in there molding, some leaf mold. It has a different color because there's some moisture involved. I can see some fungi in there starting to, it's mycelium a little bit, what is visible at least. And so it's great, so you can kind of see the progress that's being made here. But this still isn't finished. So what we want to do is we want to get at that finished compost, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to dump this aside. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a quick technique that I like to use. We do this at my school with my students. It's a great way to recycle and reuse some of your old garden materials. This is a tray. You might notice these from the nursery. We get them all the time. Typically, I'll use 2 of these stacked. That way they're a little bit more rigid. But for today's, I'm just going to use one. And what it is, but you notice it has these holes in there. And they're a little bigger, maybe like 1/4 inch, not quite 1/2 inch or so, yeah, 1/4 inch or so. And so what that's going to do is that's going to allow smaller pieces to fall through. It'll catch the bigger debris. We'll toss those back in the pile. They can cook longer and break down further. But what it's going to leave us behind is hopefully some finished compost that we then can do some more things with. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that. But first, let me show you kind of how I like to do this. Like I said, we've got this tray. I've already dug around into a hole in my soil to find a really good spot that it looks as though most material in this hole right here is mostly broken down. So, to give you an idea, that's what that scoop's going to look like. And so what I do is I put 1, maybe 2 full scoops. Like I said, at the school, we'll utilize it where we actually make this a little more rigid. And so what we'll do is I'll just kind of get in here. Let me see if I can pull this a little bit closer. So I go over a container. You can do it over a tarp, or we like to use the wheelbarrows because it just works so well. And I just do a little circular kind of pop, little rotation. And then what's nice is when you're done, you can see the pieces that you don't want in your compost, and you toss those back on. You can bury them again. This goes back in there. You go down for another scoop of great compost, not worrying if there's too big of sticks and twigs and things in there, because you're going to sift it all out. And so you kind of just do a quick rotation. You can see it falls through, and then what's left behind is all the material that, like I said, that still needs to break down further. That goes back in. Now let me show you what we're left with. Look at that. Hopefully you can get a good peek at that. That is what we want. That's the compost, and you can see it smells fantastic. It's like some sweet and light and earthy smelling, and so this is what we want. And so we can add this straight. We can add this straight to our garden beds. We can add it. Actually, we're going to do a new video later today. Where I'm actually going to turn this and show you how to turn it into some homemade potting soil. We're also going to show you a trick to make sure that you can put this on your garden and it's not going to just spread a bunch of weird weeds and seeds in your garden that you don't want. So we're going to do that as well. But from our garden to yours, now you know, happy gardening, best wishes, but now you know how to sift your compost a little bit, at least one technique at least. Maybe you might know a better way. Let me know in the comments. But for us, this works fantastic. You see it, just a couple scoops. And look at this, this is fantastic. One little leaf in there, but just fantastic. Like I said, it's full of organic matter, full of nutrition. full of beneficial fungi and things like that. So this is going to be great for our garden, whether you can add it right to your, you can do it as a top dressing. Ooh, almost fell over. As a top dressing, putting it right around the base of your plants, bear. Or you can actually cultivate it, mix it right into your soil. There's a lot of things you can do with it, like I said, or we can make a potting soil, which we're going to do later, and I'll show you how, which is really great because potting soil is super expensive, and being able to turn compost into potting soil is going to be one sweet feat. So hopefully you can hang with us for that and come back from their video. Maybe I'll attach it to this one so you can see eventually. But from our garden to yours, happy gardening, best wishes, and hey, happy composting. If you found this video at all enjoyable, please hit that subscribe button. Even if you didn't find it enjoyable, you can hit the subscribe button too.